with regards to structural changes that might take place in the national capital. We are now learning that the centre has brought fresh ordinance to substitute the Supreme Court judgment in Delhi versus the centre power tussle. As per the new ordinance, the National Capital Civil Service Authority, or the NCCSA, will be set up. The ordinance says that the NCCSA will have Chief Minister, Chief Secretary, even the Principal Home Secretary of Delhi. All matters to be decided by majority of votes of the committee members. For more details, I'm joined in by Ananya Bhatnagar on the phone line. Ananya, is this the centre again trying to have the last laugh?
Well, definitely. The centre is, this is a big development that has taken place days after the Supreme Court had given the powers to the Delhi government. It is a structural change that has been brought to in by the central government through an ordinance. And now what this ordinance basically says, I'll break it down for you. Number one is that there will be authority that would be called the National Capital Civil Servants Authority that would be set up, headed by the Chief Minister of the National Capital Territory of Delhi, would also have other members, including in fact, the Home Secretary of Delhi, the Chief Secretary of Delhi, and in fact, the CM as the chairperson. But interestingly, this committee will decide. All of this would be done by a vote share. The majority of votes would be deciding any kind of a posting and transfer. And this recommendation would then go to the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. Now, what has been a structural change is also that in the Act, the word aid and advice has been substituted with regards to the LG's power, has been substituted and has been said that in his own discretion, which basically means that the Lieutenant Governor of the National Capital Territory of Delhi would have maximum powers. He can take a decision, though he will have to take an aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. But the final decision, the supreme decision, would be of the Lieutenant Governor. And definitely this is a big blow to that Supreme Court judgment. It had that Supreme Court judgment comes standing down with this particular ordinance that has come in. And how much does this sustain? Whether politics happens on it or not, or whether this is challenged before the Supreme Court is something that is a matter of time. We'll get to know.
Absolutely, Ananya. On that note, I'll also quickly go across to Arunima, who's also on the phone line with us. Arunima, going through that ordinance, could you focus on those key takeaways that in fact reiterate what Ananya was saying in terms of how the LG will in fact be only cushioned via this ordinance?
While the central government could negate criticism by saying that, the Chief Minister of Delhi will also be part of the decision-making body, the very fact that the decision will ultimately be taken by majority vote makes it very clear as to who will be ultimately prevailing when it comes to a contentious issue. Because who all as per, if you read Section 45, what this goes on to say that there shall be an authority called the National Capital Civil Services Authority, and then it goes on to detail as to who will be the members. The Chief Minister, of course, the Chief Secretary, the Principal Home Secretary, and the Principal Home Secretary of the National Capital Territory. And then it goes on to say all matters required to be decided by the authority shall be decided by majority votes of the members present and voting. Now, the contention here is that if there are going to be two bureaucrats whose appointment and whose transfer is owed to the central government, and then there is a chief minister. So then the dice could be loaded in favor of the view that the central government would have. That was the bone of contention all along, that the government, the Delhi chief minister, was being overruled by the LG. The aid and advice of the chief minister was not being followed. So this ordinance is an attempt to find a way around that. Right. Now, it will become a law as and when it is brought before the parliament. But will this be challenged before the apex court also? That is what one has to wait and see.
In fact, that's a very crucial and significant point that you've made, that will this be challenged at the apex court or not? Akash, I want you to focus on the political dimensions of this news story, because remember, it was just yesterday, in fact, that we were learning that Arvind Kejriwal has alleged that the centre is plotting to reverse the Supreme Court order that had arrived with regards to the Delhi government officials' transfer out.
In fact, today we saw a whole lot of drama outside the LG office. First, a kind of dharna by Aam Aadmi Party, then the anticipation that central government will be bringing ordinance, and then, of course, the time was given and they met LG, and then, they came out and put several sort of allegations on different officers. But as of now, this is what has happened, because this is what Aam Aadmi Party was in fact anticipating, that now the central government would be bringing some sort of ordinance to amend or to nullify or to override what has been the order that has been given by Supreme Court. As of now, my colleagues Ananya and Arunima have pointed out the operative part of the particular ordinance, where we have several sort of sections that have been given. But it would be interesting to see as to how this particular authority, which is National Capital Civil Service Authority, would work, because as far as the structure is concerned, so we have Chief Minister and then the bureaucrats. And of course, the LG is the ultimate authority, where all these recommendations will be going to LG, and after that approval only, we'll be seeing the postings and transfer. Now, when you see the history of this particular transfer posting matter, we have seen in the past that how, in fact, in 2017, when this matter was in court, the whole focus was on services department as to who is going to be the ultimate boss of services in the national capital. We know that, national capital is very much important in state from 2014 and 15. We have seen that how Aam Aadmi Party has pressed on full statehood for the national capital, but
All right, Akash, I'm sorry to interrupt you over there. I'm also joined in by Mr. R.P. Singh of the BJP. Mr. Singh, the obvious question that comes to mind is, what was the need for a fresh ordinance when there's already a judgment by the Supreme Court?
Well, Delhi is the capital of the country, and then capital of the country has to be managed well, and we have to ensure that the state government doesn't stand or does anything which is against the overall constitution of the country. Well, Mr. Kejriwal is known for his such activities. Earlier, just before the 26th January, he as a chief minister squatted and said that I will not get up and let it be. So that anarchism can be dangerous for the country, the city.
But Mr. Singh, when you talk about Mr. Kejriwal's anarchy or that anarchism, it's certainly not been now limited to whatever you say will now also be referring to the Supreme Court, but because this was a matter that has already been handed down by the Supreme Court.
Well, Parliament is above Supreme Court, and Parliament can take decision on issues which are there in the Supreme Court, or which Supreme Court has taken a call, and still Parliament can take a decision on those also. Parliament can, because Parliament reflects the people of the country, and in the Parliament there are 7 members of Parliament from the Delhi who have been elected by Delhiites, so they have right to put their point of view in the Parliament also, or through the executive also.
Are you saying that the centre is now willing to fight it out if the matter is again taken to the court?
Well, Centre has put their point of view earlier also, that this is a national capital region and then a union territory. And then I'll appreciate the even Supreme Court should understand this, that it will have reflection on Jammu Kashmir also. It's not only Delhi. It
would be interesting if you can expand on how this would also have an impact on Jammu and Kashmir.
Because Jammu Kashmir is also a UT, and then there have certain powers which has to be with the centre as far as Jammu Kashmir goes. So I still will appreciate that court should still reconsider the complete matter, keeping in mind that it's not only confined to Delhi as a UT. Now, so Jammu and Kashmir is also a UT now, and then is a border state, and there are issues and concerns. There are issues and concerns with that 70 years it has been with the different laws which were there.